All right, in this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, excited to be talking to an individual set to compete at Bellator 290, and that goes down on February the 4th. It's a very intriguing welterweight fight. We have Michael Lombardo and Neiman Gracie getting out there and testing skills, and good to have Neiman on the show today. How's your day going so far there, man?
I'm doing great, my brother. And you? How's everything?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Just excited to see Bellator getting back at it, and this seems like a really big card just with it being broadcast on CBS, and MMA hasn't been on that network in a while, but also a big card at the Forum, Fedor's send-off. Like, how does it feel being on a card of this magnitude? Like, is it an exciting thing for you?
Oh, it feels great. It's always a pleasure to share the card with the legend Fedor, and can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. And just I'm kind of wondering like what the mindset is heading into this fight, because this is a bit of a career first for you, just in the sense of, back-to-back defeats and trying to come back from that. Is the mindset a great deal different at all in this camp, or is it similar to maybe like past fights?
No, the mindset is the same as always. Go out there, perform, and win. So I'm really looking forward to winning this fight, and I can't wait for February 4th.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to kick off the year and gives you a chance to be fairly active. Are you looking to take a certain amount of fights this year? Like, is there an ideal amount of fights you would like to have come together for yourself in 2023?
Yes, definitely. I like to start the year fighting, so I'm looking to do 3 or 4 fights this year. And let's start up the year, let's go.
And I'm kind of wondering if you're getting in work at King's MMA. Like, that seems to have been a gym you've, historically trained at, but also like Renzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy more when you're in the New York area, it seems like. Like, whereabouts are you training ahead of this fight?
I've been training a lot here in California at King's. Sometimes like 2 weeks every month I go to Renzo to train. So the training is kind of the same. But we just changed a couple of things in my game, and I can't wait to show it.
And I'm kind of wondering, because like certain fighters, I talk to them and they kind of almost curate their sparring partners to sort of mirror like style elements their opponent brings, or even like body types. Like, are you doing that ahead of this Michael Lombardo fight? And if so, what, I guess, sparring partners are kind of replicating what he brings to the table, if that's the case?
Yeah, we always try to do that, I leave most of that to my coaches so they can set up with the sparring partners how they're going to react or what they're going to do. But me, myself, personally, I like to think more about me instead of think about my opponents. So I just go and I always try to do the same thing which I'm good at, So I don't think too much about what the guy's going to do. I think more what I will do. So I think that's something that I always been doing,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like you've really shown that, especially in your last few fights. Like, you've always been well regarded as a great jiu-jitsu player, but I feel like the striking has really been on display in the last few fights. Like, the Mark Lemminger stoppage, for instance, was a great one. Like, how exciting is it to, see those kind of results returning on, like, the work you're putting into the striking end of things? I would think that would be exciting.
Oh, it feels great. Since I moved here to California, I've been working much more on that with the coach, Rafael Cordeiro. So it feels great. But I don't want to forget what I'm actually really good at, because I think I'm one of the best in the world of what I do. So, of course, I want to take the fight down to the ground, and then that's where I really shine.
And something that I've been curious to ask you for a while now, I was, obviously seeing like how well regarded you were in like pure sport jiu-jitsu, and obviously you talk about like using jiu-jitsu to great effect in MMA, and it seems like there's, I guess, certain positions or sequences that can transfer over. Like, it seems like the kata gatame is one that you can find in both jiu-jitsu and MMA. Are there any like positions or sequences though that maybe you once used in jiu-jitsu that you have to like really tinker with and adapt for MMA?
Yes, I think so. I think jiu-jitsu changes a lot when you are able to put the punches equation on it. So especially like leg locks. You really gotta watch out where you're putting your face into, you know. So there are many positions like the guard, leg locks that you gotta watch out. So it changes a lot. The sport jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu for fighting, it's two different things.
Yeah, because it seems like even from my layman perspective watching, like it seems like certain positions that might work in jiu-jitsu, it could leave you wide open in MMA, just as you outlined there. So yeah, definitely interesting insights. So are there certain positions or things that you would go to in jiu-jitsu that you have to entirely eliminate from MMA? Like, are there certain things you have to almost entirely forget about, like where it's not something you can transfer over? Or have you found a way to adapt all of your techniques and positions, I suppose?
Yeah, I changed my whole game when I started fighting MMA, you know, so I definitely changed the way I do jiu-jitsu because of the punches, but especially from the guard on the bottom, you know. You really got to know what you're doing so you don't get caught with punches. But I like better jiu-jitsu for fighting than jiu-jitsu for competition. I feel that it's more real, and I feel that it's more fun to watch also, so... Yeah, I definitely changed a lot in my style of jiu-jitsu, but I think it transferred really well for fighting.
Yeah, it seems like you've adapted it very well, but just in talking about the specifics of this next fight, like you were mentioning before, how you kind of, you know, have that with your coaches, like where they're checking out a lot of the tape and stuff like that, but just, I guess, like, based on some of the things they've been kind of telling you, like, what does Michael Lombardo really, you know, do well out there? Because he's obviously got a bit of experience in like Bellator, PFL, Contender Series, like really a few different promotions. Like, what does he, I guess, do well stylistically?
I think he's kind of like the most fighters. He's not really, really good at one thing, but he knows everything a little bit, you know. So he has decent striking, he has decent wrestling and decent jiu-jitsu. So I just gotta watch out for a couple things, but nothing really special that he does that I need to watch out for, you know?
Yeah, so he's like an opponent where you're almost looking at it like through the lens of maybe just kind of like adapt to whatever like he shows in the fight sort of thing, like just kind of be fluid with what might happen.
Exactly. Just gotta be there, present, and open-minded to take any advantages and any mistakes that he does. I try to capitalize on it and bring the fight where I'm good at, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And just, I guess, kind of a random question, but I guess it sort of ties into what we're talking about with you wanting to take between like 3 or 4 fights this year, if possible. I mean, I feel like the Gracie family has such a, you know, great history of like fighting over in Japan and everything, and just the recent Bellator and Rizin cross-promotional efforts. Is that something that might be intriguing to you? Like if Bellator were to call you by the end of 2023 and ask you to fight in the Rizin ring, would that pique your interest?
Yeah, it's a big interest. Actually, it was bothering them a lot to be on their card, but they didn't have nobody in my weight categories that I could compete at. But they know that I really want to fight there in Japan also. So they told me that any chance that they have, they're gonna put me in the next card out there.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I think what my understanding of it is, at least, is that they're going to switch up the weight divisions year to year. So, yeah, that would be really cool. I feel like you're right up there. Like, you've always been, like, a ranked Bellator welterweight, or at least as long as the rankings have been out. So, yeah, that would definitely make a lot of sense. Like, what would that rule set do for, I guess, your jiu-jitsu game? It would kind of open certain things up, like knees to grounded opponents and things like that. Like, would that kind of be an interesting wrinkle to the game, like, competing under those rules?
Yes, definitely, and I can even have the chance of fighting in my gi, like Horsey did. Who knows? Maybe I tried that out.
Yeah, that would be an awesome visual. Definitely would be, you know, a quality entrance for sure. But I guess I'm kind of curious about some of your fights on just the general state of the division and stuff like that. Like we've got, you know, an upcoming fight with, you know, Yaroslav Amosov and Logan Storley. Storley being someone you have some, you know, competitive history with. Like, how do you see that particular fight playing out? Do you have like a prediction for that, or how you maybe see it unfolding?
hard to say because the first fight that they had was really, really tough. So it's a really hard fight to predict, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a great fight. I don't know who's going to win, but I know that it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely looks like an exciting one. And like you said, both of those guys have that past history with each other. So it would be interesting to see what they may or may not, change with their game. But I guess to that point, like talking about rematches, like are there any particular rematches you'd like to have down the line, like maybe avenge some of the maybe losses? Like I know Logan Storley is someone you previously faced, like I said. I mean, is there anyone like that on the radar for a rematch down the line potentially, or do you not really look at the sport in that kind of way, like wanting to kind of create that series, quote unquote, avenge a loss, that sort of thing?
Yes, I want to rematch everyone that was able to beat me, but especially Jason Jackson, Logan Storley. These guys are two guys that I really want to fight again, I feel like I beat Jason Jackson and they gave him the fight, but I wanna rematch everybody.
Yeah, no, for sure. Good to want to, be getting out there and testing yourself and stuff like that. And this next fight definitely something that, fits under that banner too. So yeah, awesome that you're, making time to come on the show too. I do appreciate that there, Neiman. But I guess one of the things I'm kind of curious about as we're wrapping up, like, are there any, I guess, certain outside interests from martial arts you have to kind of like decompress a little bit from training and everything? Like, are there outside hobbies or interests that you find yourself getting up to when you're not training and everything?
Yeah, man, I love surfing, so I live here in California, so whenever the waves are good, I try to take a break and go out and ride a couple of waves, be out in the ocean. So I love surfing, and surfing always been a thing that makes my mind relax a little bit, so definitely surfing is one of them.
Oh, that's cool, man. How long have you been doing that for?
Oh, since I was a little kid, I learned in Brazil with my father when I was around 4 or 5 years old, and I never stopped surfing since then.
Yeah, I feel like that would be like a good like active like rest kind of thing almost. Like I mean, obviously it has like a level of athleticism to it and everything like that, but at the same time, it's like you're not like putting your body through that sort of hard stress and everything like that. So probably good in that kind of way, like relaxing, but also like an active rest kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the best. Like a different sport that got nothing to do with fighting, So for me, it's perfect. And to be out in the nature, it's fantastic. I think everyone should try it,
Yeah, and just real quick, because one of the things I'm actually noticing as we're kind of getting to the end of the interview is that your opponent had to, withdraw, and your opponent is going to be stepping in on a couple weeks' notice. Does that kind of just speak to what we were talking about before, though, with like being adaptable and fluid with whatever happens? Like, what are your thoughts on this Dante Schiro matchup now coming about in lieu of Lombardo having to withdraw, I guess?
Oh, I think it's, for me, it doesn't change anything because my game plan is always the same. There's no secret what I'm going to try to do, so take him down and finish him with a submission. So it doesn't matter who I fight, my game plan is always the same, so nothing changes.
Well, I think everybody enjoys that about you, like what you've shown so far. I mean, definitely, enjoy consistently watching that, always exciting and everything, but you've been great with your time, Neiman, and I want to be, mindful of the rest of your schedule too there. So is there anything you might want to add as kind of like a final parting thought as we're wrapping things up here, man?
No, my brother, just want to thank you. Thank you so much for your time also, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, thanks so much. It was a lot of fun talking to you as well, but going to be even more fun checking out this upcoming fight at Bellator 290, and people can do so on February the 4th. But until then, you enjoy the rest of your day, man, and just, thanks so much again for coming on.
See you. Bye-bye.